Call of Duty League is presented by T-Mobile, now America's largest and fastest 5G network. Set your sights on the competition with T-Mobile, the leader in 5G. Scuff, the official controller of the Call of Duty League. The Call of Duty League is presented by USAA Insurance, auto, renters and home insurance that's made to help the military community protect what they've worked hard for.
Hello, all of you beautiful people. It is the Los Angeles Guerrillas Home Series, day number 3. We're kicking off Saturday with some wonderful, good old Call of Duty League action. It's Paris Legion taking on the Florida Mutineers. What, in a series that means a heck of a whole lot in terms of who's making it into the winner's bracket, who's going into the loser's bracket. Lots of implications on the match today. Myself, Leno, and Study guiding you guys through the action. Study, I know what there's been a lot of talk on, hey, a lot of math coming into this series, a lot of things to think about. We'll guide the people through, but how you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. I'm excited to see this matchup you have between Florida and Paris. Paris so far throughout Stage 2 has not been the same team that we've seen throughout Stage 1. We need them to kick back in form, even though Florida are playing for their spot. They win this, they get in, they control their own fate, man. We're just going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, right. That's kind of when the pressure gets put on you, right? When the fate is kind of in your hands, it all comes down to this. A big series coming in from our Florida group, and let's go ahead and meet the team, our Mutineers.
The dictionary defines redemption as the deliverance of persons or things from the possession and power of captors.
It is a 3-0 victory over the Florida Mutineers.
As the act of making something better. As the act of making up for a loss.
It is over, and that is a shocker for the Mutineers.
We define it as inevitable. You can count our KD. You can count our headshots. You can count our hill time. What you can't do is count us out.
You never really can count the Mutineers out. What, Study? Like we said, a win today guarantees them to be in the winner's bracket for what has been an unbelievable Group B here so far in Stage 2. Given the way the Mutineers have looked as of late, how do you like their chances to get through the Legion?
Well, the way that they came out versus the Dallas Empire was just flat. Not a single player was over 1.0 KD. They ended up getting 3-0'd. But today, you're going up against the weakest team in your group, which is going to be the Paris Legion. And this is where you control your own fate. Like I said, man, you have one match to get through. Obviously, that first hard point is so huge when we talk about Florida. Let's see what they can do today.
Yeah, like I said, on the other side, again, when we talk about it, Paris right now sitting at the bottom of the standings. Very interested to see what the Legion can do. Again, for them, they can still stay alive with this win. If they lose, they are going to be in the loser's bracket guaranteed. Again, a lot of pressure on this team as well. Let's go and put our hands together now for the Paris Legion.
Wonderful start here for Paris Legion. Paris Legion just about pushed that player off the hard point.
Just can they clutch up and go big?
Classic just being aggressive in the plane.
Fire's got to get on the bomb, and he will. He finds the kill.
Unbelievable stuff.
Awkward from the back end, able to pick up 3 along the way.
Paris Legions.
What a round!
And there is a look at the Legion. What, Study? Again, this team has not had a great Stage 2 in comparison to, well, they kind of stole our hearts in Stage 1. They were kind of that Cinderella team that kind of shocked a lot of people. They were performing in game modes versus different teams that we didn't think that they could. And now they're coming into this match live on the line when we talk about that winner's bracket off of 3 series losses in a row. What has been the problem recently with this Paris team?
It's just been the respawns, man. So far, you have the S&Ds, where they have been consistent across the boards throughout Stage 2, but the respawns, 1 in 6, in all hard points throughout all of stage 2, then 1 out of 4 in control. Their respawn game has just not been there, and I feel like a lot of it relies on fire. When we talk about this guy, ever since switching to that SMG role, he's just not been playing the same way he was doing throughout stage 1. Hopefully today, you told me that you saw a tweet out of Scraps, and he's possibly going to be switching back to that flex role. So I'm excited to see what he's able to bring to the team today.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what kind of look that we see out of the Legion here out of the gates, because again, it cannot be understated. Their performance as of late has been, less than stellar, to put it lightly, but hey, I know we got a quick little chance to take a look at the map vetoes. Obviously, we're flying in here for checkmate. In terms of record count, right, for the Florida Mutineers, 1-4 on checkmate. Yeah, just a few days ago, they did lose this one to the Dallas Empire, but Study, this continues to be their map choice, right? This is Florida's pick. They chose it versus Dallas, and they lost, and now they're bringing it out again here versus the Legion. And in that last series, it was kind of a mixture of what? Them just kind of losing hills, losing rotations that they shouldn't have. I'm excited to see what Florida does here out of the gates.
Yeah, man, because like you said, versus Dallas Empire, every time that they tried to get set up for a hard point, they just got immediately broken. So they only lost that game by like 40 to 50 points. So they still feel really confident on a map like this. But it's all about just securing those setups and holding those pushes. And it's looking like right off the rip, they're able to get a couple seconds off this P1 hard point, but a lot of gunfights are just going back and forth between both teams. You still have Florida, who is spawning on the backside, but Paris Legion's trying to keep control, trying to stay contested, but make sure that they keep those spawns for P2.
And again, the one player that could cause the issues is Neptune. He does pretty much sneak his way through the A street, while a few of his teammates are starting to fall inside of the point. He has possibly made the play to secure the spawns, as a few teammates still out for now. Neptune getting ready to be in a big engagement versus Scraps, and Scraps is going to win it, but that's not stopping the onslaught right now coming in from Florida. Again, the Legion players start to spawn out because of that play from Neptune, and now it is utter chaos on the map. We praise Legion for kind of their early defensive efforts, and now it can all come crashing down, but it's 3-4 in the feed as Classic and Aqua come away with doubles themselves. Legion sweat off the brow as now they're locking down time at the yellow crate.
Yeah, Scraps just went so big on that backside. He was the only player on the backside of that wood area, and he was able to get both kills and then eventually give enough time for his teammates to pinch the hill. Classic ended up getting 2. And eventually time is starting to go in their favor, and that's another thing that we saw out of Florida yesterday. The very first P2, Dallas was able to break in, and so far they're starting off on the same foot that they had yesterday. Hopefully it can change as the game goes on, but as of right now, Paris Legion, they're going to get this remaining 10 seconds, but the Florida Mutineers are going to be set up for P3.
P3 indeed. Obviously, this hard point in particular can be kind of a crazy one from time to time. Maybe even a scrappy one. No pun intended. Actually, pun fully intended. I was actually wanting to talk about Scrap Study because he kind of is the X factor for this Paris team, at least so far in Stage 2. He has a 1.26 in wins and a 0.62 in losses. So definitely a player that you have to keep in mind if you are the Legion in desperate need of a nice start here early on in the hard point, as Classic comes down the wing, does shut down one, but it is great support fire so far from the Mutineers. As again, we talk about P3, not normally one that you're going to hold down very effectively. Mutineers proving us exactly why that is not the case. 25 seconds left, and they're looking good. Pretty much grab every single extra one. They've also got A street control as well. Paris Legion off of the back foot with 15 left on our current hard point.
Yeah, the Mutineers just held this whole P3 hard point by just spawning all the players from the Legion side towards that old spawn at P2. So they're going to be able to get a full 60 here. They also going to have the spawns for P4. Neptune's currently on a 5 spree trying to work towards some streaks. Is he going to be able to get away with his life? He's not. But job well done once again out of the Mutineers. 3 players are going to drop now for the Mutineers. So now Paris Legion are going to be nice and early and towards this P4.
Nice shot coming in from Sky. He's just really clearing out the business that he needs to, and really if you're a Legion kind of given this position here, Stud, I mean, they're kind of getting A street. They have to really have it considering the current rotation that we've got. Unfortunate team kill comes in for Paris. We'll see how they look to rebound as Aqua's winning his fight. Scraps his as well. And really when we take a look at that kill feed, really a lot throughout the season has been on Scraps and Aqua. Their performance, they've kind of been the dynamic duo, the 1-2 punch so far for the Legion. Gonna need them to have a solid performance today. And it cannot be understated as well, Study, that rookie Fire, a lot of times his performance can really start to kind of dictate the way that the Legion is playing, starting things off 4-8, looking for the rookie, along with the rest of the team, to put up a solid performance, as they will be good and ready for this next hill. They are going to possess spawns for it. So well played out of the Legion to chain these two together. Now we'll see how much time they can begin to accrue.
Yeah, so far it's been 2 hard points per team. Now it's just Paris Legion early set up. They have the rotations for this P5, so they're going to be able to put themselves up by at least 25 points before any contestant comes in. You see the Mutineers players trying to flood through the front. That's going to be 3 down now for Paris. Fire is going to be the only one in a position to try to keep these guys off of this time. But he's going to be the only player on this side of the map. He has to try to stay alive, just stall some time for his teammates, but eventually he's going to drop. Players from Paris trying to push through the front, but the Mutineers are able to break in and should be able to get this remaining 20 seconds.
This is kind of the issue that we saw the Mutineers dealing with, versus Dallas study. It was a matter of them not being able to hold on to money hills, them struggling at times where you kind of didn't expect them to. So at least from this perspective, as we'll be tied for just a moment, Mutineers will take the lead after we both pass the century mark, resetting for the first hard point. But again, kind of an odd pick for the Mutineers given their record, but they love themselves some checkmate. And actually went back and looked, and I think, 10 out of the 12 maps that the Mutineers have played so far in Stage 2 have been checkmate something. So again, they have got...
So they're traveling.
They do, man. They're traveling quite a bit.
They're traveling all the time.
They are enjoying themselves some time in the plane. That is to put it lightly. But again, maybe kind of testing out a few of those strategies in regards to the way that the veto process works. We've seen a lot of teams trying to mitigate that. How can they kind of work it out in their favor? And it appears that Mutineers really like themselves in checkmate and maybe intend on playing it a lot more. Again, it is only going to be one map in the series, our first one so far off the start, as Aqua's finding a few good kills toward the bottom side. It is all Mutineers inside of the plane.
So now Mutineers, you see what they're doing. They're just gaining this remaining time. Now eventually they're going to have to try to set up a push, try to flip these spawns. Neptune unfortunately is going to drop. That's going to eliminate him off the 5 spree. You see the Mutineers players pushing up through that left alley, trying to hit through the backside of plane. They already spawned 1 player out. Are they going to be able to do it again? But no, the hill's going to pop now. Paris is going to have full control of the backside, but the Mutineers are still trying to break through the front.
Trying to break through the front, a good opportunity. Unfortunately, they do get foiled here to rip off what is a good possible moment for the Legion. Again, they continue to combine for a few, but it's Neptune, the player who caused all the problems on the first set of rotations, currently making his way on the flank. He gets dealt with and processed by elimination from Paris, dealing with the players at the back and now dealing with the players at the front. However, the onslaught only continues as 2 players enter the feed, but they get cut down. It is continuous high-level plays out of the Legion, as Fire does have to sacrifice his life, but it is not all for nothing, as Slack through the flank, or rather the Legion, finally do get broken. So you're happy with that, at least for the moment, if you're the Mutineers. Grab the final few seconds, but it was good coordination early for Paris, as now off of that last rotation, they are going to be set up for next.
Yeah, and you see with that number 2 player, he's trying to push through that aLLeY, just trying to find that opening. He's still alive in that position. Right now, Paris Legion are getting that hill time. Only down about 30 seconds. Number 2's going to have a huge gunfight, and he's going to win it. So that's going to be Sky setting up for the pinch. Here comes number 1 around the backside through Tetris. Awakening's going to win a big 2. Last guy's going to be top plane, and that's what a perfect break right there comes out of the Mutineers. Now they're going to be fully set up, trying to get some more time to close out this map, number 1.
Good spot right now for Florida. Awakening, close quarter engagement as a few begin to fall. Skies, he has to reference back, and Scraps with that gun engagement is going to at least make Florida be aware of his position, so he finally does get cleaned up as well. Paris, they do not want to give away any of these free seconds, but that is exactly what they're doing. Florida, they continue with these breaks. If you go down, and we do see player 6, player 7 spawning on the opposite side. Again, it is going to be A Street, so not currently the biggest of deals, but when we talk about that P5, Florida very well may have just got themselves in a wonderful spot, especially if they can play this one close over at A Street. They could be in a good position, but again, we talk about it back and forth constantly. The flipping of spawns, the flipping of positions. Paris now put in a good situation as checkmate treating us with so many interesting plays. Right now, Legion locking up the time, 30 valuable ones here. And really off of that rotation, Legion, they're winning the fights. That's going to be a 7-team spree right now.
Yeah, and this is what Florida were having troubles with on the very first rotation of hard points, was getting towards that P4 hill. The P4, Paris Legion, they locked it down the first time, and it's looking like they're going to be able to lock it down this second time around and tie this game up. They're also going to have spawns for P5, a lot of kills going in their favor. Fire is currently on a 4 speed where he's going to drop. So now you're going to see this remaining 10 seconds hopefully go in favor of the Mutineers, but 2 players from Paris Legion are going to push it out. They're trying to just keep the aggression, trying to keep the players from the Mutineers to spawn all the way across the map so they can rightfully set up for that P5 and eventually take this lead.
Bill gets wiped away. Again, we look at ourselves in what is going to be another lead exchange. Paris Legion just a few seconds away from overtaking the Mutineers as Florida look to try to break on in from the front. Skies and Awakening, they combine for 2. The AR's going big as player 8 and Fire has to try to back away. Can he stay alive? But it's a Big Wake who wins the fight, and with that engagement is going to make the Legion have to be forced in from the front. And again, nobody going to be in a good spot to walk away with the win off of this HP. But how about the time that you can begin to grab? It's hanging out toward that fort window as Awakening drops. Slacked is going to be off of spawn. Some good engagements despite fighting from where the Paris Legion are as they line up for Slacked. A big 2-piece coming in from the vet as they will be able to grab the last few seconds, but it's again the rotation now back toward top plane. A big engagement here off the rip as Awakening, he's trapped, but he wins the first. Can he find the second? A big one. Aqua's able to stay alive. Again, 230 already reached from the Mutineers, but another big gun engagement, one from the rookie, but it is trade after trade after trade, Study.
Yeah, it's trade after trade, so the action is going down in this P1 hardpoint. You're going to see Paris nice and early, just trying to contest this, trying to force it to go towards that P2. Florida looking like they're trying to fully commit to it, but that's going to be 3 down. They can no longer win here off this P1, so now if you're Paris Legion, you have to make sure you keep these spawns. If you're Florida, you cannot lose focus here. You have to stay composed and not flood one by one. Wait for your teammates and wait for the team push to come in, and that's a great way to start it. Neptune open up with 1.
Aqua continuing with the spree. Again, the intensity right now for Florida. They realize they got to get these seconds, but again, it's the rotation that really matters the most. As Paris so far have started to park the bus, that's going to be 2. So, but after this, these last few seconds get grabbed, it's going to be 237, 224. Sky's the farthest pushed up player, is trying to make a dent in these spawns, but it's Scraps, it's Classic, it's Aqua, the entire team from Paris beginning to find the Mutineers through the middle side of the map. Paris, they've also got top plane and bottom plane control. Neptune wins a big one, but only mere seconds left. Can the Mutineers get to the point in time? This is going to be their final team rush, possibly, as Neptune tries to go for the turn. Classic's winning fight. Skies is there for the trade. Can they break in from the front? Only a few more seconds needed. And here comes the fight from Slack. The nade comes in. Paris, they have to back out. And they just as they begin to jump back into hardpoint, the Mutineers fall. And it will be a Paris victory here in the opening hardpoint. You can see what it means to the team. Classic and Aqua getting up. A solid beginning out of the Mutineers, but it is the Paris Legion who in the clutch managed to go big. And once again, Florida dropping their pick on that checkmate hardpoint.
And that's what you want to see out of Paris. It's just those late game plays that need to be made, they get the job done. They do not panic. They knew exactly what they needed to do. It's just contest that P1 hardpoint until Florida could no longer win there. Just keep those spawns for P2. They did that. They held 2 pushes. They closed out the game. Good first hardpoint right there out of Paris. If you're the Mutineers, once again, that one stings, man. You were fully set up for a couple of those hills. It's just those initial pushes that you cannot continue to stop from these other CDL teams.
Yeah, and you see that there, right? Paris Legion, that they snapped that 5-game hardpoint losing streak. Again, their respawns have been less than impressive so far in stage 2. And so I guess when we talk about kind of the ending phases, what this means right now for the team, again, you take away the first team's map choice, winning a hardpoint, winning a respawn that you have really yet to do so much so far throughout stage 2. And now we're talking about Search and Destroy and Express up next, Study, which has been a great map recently for the Legion.
Yeah, the Legion, they're sitting at 2-0 on that map, and it's not like they haven't beat anyone good. They beat the Empire, and they beat Chicago on it. So even though they're not really good at S&D right now, they still have to be feeling really good. It's been their best game mode so far throughout stage 2, and hopefully they can continue that on to put themselves up 2-0 in this series if they can win that next one too.
Definitely. Well, obviously we're kind of talking about the Search and Destroy. Let's go and reference back though a little bit to that hardpoint with our USAA coverage moment. This one kind of coming in the later stages of that hardpoint. We're talking about big moments, kind of big sequences, kind of late. And again, Study, it is Paris in this sequence. We talked about the rotations. They're able to grab it, and really Florida from here never able to break in.
Yeah, once they realized that Florida could no longer win off that P1, They just literally just set up for the rotation. They knew what they had to do was hold at least 1 to 2 good pushes, and you guys will be able to close out that map. You see how the time is ticking. Everybody's sitting in the corner, just guaranteeing themselves 1 kill, because that 1 kill is going to slow down each player from the Mutineers. Eventually, everyone's dropping 1 by 1. And Paris Legion, they just hold it, man. Good plays, good rotation. Way to get the job done there.
And again, buddy, if you are Paris, again, you're talking about you're snapping that hardpoint losing streak. That has to do wonders for the team vibes, wonders for the team chemistry at this point, especially when we talk about their lives kind of being up against the wall. Again, loser of this series gets placed inside of that losers bracket for this group. But it's Search, Destroy, and Express between Mutineers and Legion up right after this break.
The Call of Duty League is presented by T-Mobile, now America's largest and fastest 5G network. Set your sights on the competition with T-Mobile, the leader in 5G. The Call of Duty League is presented by Zenni, the official eyewear for the CDL. Armor your eyes with Zenni Blocks blue light protection glasses by visiting zenni.com/gaming.
Hello CDL fam, thank you so much for watching. Do you guys fancy getting your hands on more rewards? Then make sure you click on the rewards button right next to the diamond icon, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more CDL content.
Hi everybody, and welcome back to the Call of Duty League. Again, it is tense games all around here for some good old CDL Saturday. Paris Legion taking on the Florida Mutineers. Paris, they're able to advance early, and it's only right that we do start off with Paris Legion for our Game Fuel Keys to Victory study. What do we got here for Paris?
Yeah, you just can't fall short in the respawns. That's what we said. They were 1-5 before winning that hard point there, and 1-3 in control. Their respawn throughout stage 2 has not been there. And Fire, he just needs to pick up the pace, man. So far throughout stage 2, he's been a .78, a .69 in hard point, and a .72 in that control. And I feel like that has a lot to do with why they're losing those respawns. He was that submachine gun player who was playing alongside Scraps, just not picking up those kills when he was in those situations. And now him switching to that flex role, going back to that AR, you see the progression that they were able to make on that map number 1.
Yeah, we'll talk about constantly with Paris, right? Can it be that three-headed dragon, if you will, to see if they can kind of be consistent enough? But let's go ahead and now take a look at our Game Fuel Keys to Victory here for the Florida Mutineers. Well, to come out firing in the opening hardpoint, unfortunately, that one is not going to be done. Don't allow Paris to gain momentum, as they can be dangerous in the search and destroys. That'll be a continuous topic for us. Awakening in Skies, they need to be on point today. And then finally, don't let Paris get a Garrison hardpoint, as Legion, Garrison hardpoint 4-1, and also have taken down the Mutineers twice in both of their series versus each other. Paris has won a Garrison hardpoint, and it happens to be that Garrison hardpoint will be that map number 4. Now, the reason why that is interesting to take note of, Study, is that, again, right now, Legion, in terms of the maps, in terms of the way that things are sitting based off of the vetoes, they've got Express, Search, and Destroy up next. So again, when you talk about the Legion, you're comfortable with them in this map and mode combination, given the teams that they've taken down. Then we've got that Garrison control, which again, you can kind of toss up and go back and forth about that. But what's important for the Legion is kind of that 3-1 opportunity that they are going to have. They're going to revisit hardpoint soon. Again, of course, if we do get to that 4th map, which, you know, is very possible, of course. So again, if we do see a Legion victory, that totally changes up the way that we feel about this series. Again, folks, if you're just joining us, implications, major ones here for Group B in terms of who makes it into that winner side versus the loser side. If Paris win, they do stay alive. They're not guaranteed winners bracket, as they will need Seattle to beat Minnesota and Dallas to beat Chicago. So again, if you are Paris after this victory, or if they can get this victory, you are becoming Surge and Empire fans on the opposite angle. You win if you're Florida, you're into the winners. You lose, and you are in the losers bracket. But here we go. All that talk out the window. It's time to play some good old Call of Duty. And these rounds, they can be fast from time to time, as Fire finding a few early ones. Neptune responds back with a few of his own, and it's Mutineers in a frenzy of trades.
Yeah, man, that was so fast to keep up with. Neptune, he was being aggressive towards that ticket booth. I thought Fire was going to be able to get the trade, but he doesn't. So Neptune was able to get the second. Awakening through the mid-train gets one, and then Skies takes down Aqua from that side staircase right there. It was a good defensive hold right there out of the Mutineers, but you could just tell how Paris Legion want to play this. They want to play aggressive. And this is one thing that when we were watching the Paris Legion play this map, they always had those mid-game adjustments that really worked for them. They would rotate over towards A and leave Scraps on that late flank. Remember, he also made a triple last week when he was playing this map off the flank side, just being that late rotator. He gets the job done, but Neptune, he's going to push right up middle map, get control of ticket booth once again, and open up with the first blood.
Neptune starting off 4-0. The young man is hot to start, and the Mutineers quick back-to-back rounds as they are loving these fast and early rounds. Neptune has been so great in search and destroy for the Mutineers, is just taking over so far throughout these first two, as we'll just get to watch the best play over and over and over again. And we're already talking about streaks, really just kind of through this third round, whether or not he can accrue those, because tell you what, man, he is taken over to start this one off. But as you called it, right, Legion, they have been great at kind of adjusting throughout this map in particular. They know the what kind of the map that Express can be, and we'll see what their look is as they are going to continue toward this A site, continuing to work around it. And as you got the 2-2 split right now from Florida, which isn't too uncommon given the way these last few rounds have gone. Based off of that nade, you're going to start to see a few Mutineers players begin to rotate. The first one there is going to be Skies. It's not just the streak for Neptune, but it's the streak from Caesar as well, sitting at 3-0 for him as Florida look to make the retake.
And look at the positioning out of Scraps once again. He's that late pincher. He's always that player that's going to go around the backside. He's able to get one. So now it's going to be a 2v3 situation in favor of the Paris Legion. All they have to do is just play this clock, keep the players from the Mutineers off. Classic's going to get another big kill onto Slack. So now it's a 1v3. The Classic's going to end up trading that one and closing out that round. Good round out of Paris Legion. They dropped the player early, but they still end up clutching out that 3v4. I feel like a lot of it has to do on the positioning out of Scraps. Even though Classic's doing everything he can by ticket booth, if Scraps doesn't get that kill in middle map, Classic gets traded, and it's a whole different scenario there. But good round from the Paris Legion on that offensive push.
Yeah, and just a good play call too, right? You're always trying to, when you are the offensive team, trying to just throw the defense off a little bit, right? I mean, a lot of teams will kind of expect them to change up the sights, maybe hitting out toward A because you've got dominated back-to-back rounds over a B. But hey, man, they change things up and they're able to make it work well. But here we go into another offense, this time for the Florida Mutineers, making their way toward this A site, which, again, as of late, and still early in the rotation, but teams who do hit A early tend to walk away with rounds the most in terms of offensive rounds so far throughout stage 2. Nice early pick from Awakening. Classic decides to dip on in. Unfortunately, he does trade his life, but it was a worthy exchange in the end, as we have ourselves in a 2 versus 2. The main AR supplied with the rookie for both of these teams, as Neptune feels confident to place down the objective, at least for the moment. But good call from him as Aqua from above finds one. Can Aqua find the second? Gives the call to his teammate. And they are going to have intel in terms of where he's at, but it's Neptune with the punch to the back of the head, and it's Neptune again! Neptune with 2 to close out the round. He has been so good to start off this search and destroy, and says, hey, why not another highlight from the top rope? Takes down his fellow rookie in Fire and gives Florida the 3-1 advantage.
Wow, I am completely mind blown. Shout out to Nameless there. I cannot believe he was able to pull off that 1v2 there. It's going to pull him at 7-1, and that was just such an insane 1v2. He was able to get out with his life, dodging the bullets from Aqua, and then going back up the ladder, dash punching Aqua, and winning second gunfight. That was such an insane round out of Neptune. Put them up 3-1, and it's looking like he's not going to try to miss a beat here. Being aggressive on this B side once again. That's going to be a 4v2, but Neptune's still alive. He's still alive. He's going to be able to eliminate one, but now it turns into a 1v3, and just like that, Scraps is able to take him down. Paris Legion respond.
It's so hard sometimes, man, to like break down these rounds just because we're like, okay, let's kind of break down the last round. What did we see? What was impressive from Neptune? And it's like, okay, cool. Oh, the next round's over. Okay, got it. So all we need to know is Neptune essentially gets shut down by Fire. Fire says, haha, my turn. And there we go. That's your analysis for the round there. But no, all jokes aside, good plays coming in from Paris again in a major spot where they need to walk away with an offense. At the end of the day, Neptune's still sitting at 8-2, as we do get to at least recap the round for a moment. And Florida back on the attack. It appears that they will be eyeing out A, maybe for the start, but no, okay. Maybe giving us a little bit of a different look, making their way from the hallway, getting somewhat of a different perspective. And sometimes when you do push from this angle, it can kind of surprise teams because you're expecting them to kind of come out of that bottom gate. Once they don't, it could lead to a possible rotation out of Legion. As you do see player 6 in Classic, he'll then to go and rotate toward A. Sure, rather Awakening, tossing out some utility. This to try and go for the bait. But Fire, first sight of a player, it's met with some utility himself, as we've yet to lose anybody so far in this round.
Yeah, so the Mutineers plays, they were trying to hit him with a delay B push, but Fire read that, just not giving a positioning, was able to spot him. Now they're rotating over towards A. The only player in a position to try to stop this or slow this down is going to be Scraps. Bomb is going to be 30 seconds remaining in this round. Awakening, trying to take control of this top window. He's going to have top ticket booth. Now it's all about just trying to work towards the bomb. He's going to see Classic approaching the close sight. Scraps is able to open up with the first blood. The Mutineers, they have to try to work this bomb plan quick.
And run out of time. It all start to run right into the line sight. Last player alive is going to be Awakening. Obviously, we know him for the AR position at the time, but
Kobe.
It's the opportunity to catch a nade, and oftentimes that's not going to work out too well for you. But Awakening, fortunately, not able to catch the nade, as it is Paris. A nice retake here over at the site. We talked about the plays from Florida, right? A good sneaky opportunity over at the opposite side of the map. They then make the rotation here, but they just don't get the clearance to get the bomb down. And now with that round, we find ourselves at a 3-3 scoreline in terms of players to look out for. Neptune still leading the way at 8-3, and on the Paris side, on the Paris Legion side, it is straight 4 kills across the board, Study.
Yeah, it's just great teamwork so far out of Paris Legion. It's looking like they're going to switch up their play too. And they're going to catch that #1 player, which is going to be Awakening off guard. But he's going to be able to gain that information. He knows that the tacticals are coming in. He's just going to back up. Just wait for his team to get closer. The aggression right now out of Paris Legions look like they're going to go straight for this bomb. But Awakening times it perfectly. He's able to take down the first, able to get the second as well. Now it's going to be a 4v2 situation. Paris Legion were just not ready for that play out of Awakening.
And great timing coming in from Awakening, as Aqua does end up getting traded out. So with that, we'll leave Scraps in a 1 versus 3. Again, he's been by far the best search and destroy player for this Paris team, at least so far throughout the season. He has been their guy, but 1 versus 3 situation is never going to be easy. And really, I'm sure the best play of the round is going to be that Awakening play, right, where he's able to find those two toward the bomb site. Just gets the great timing here on the Classic, and really just puts Fire at an angle where he's never going to be able to win that fight easily. It's great plays coming in from Big Wake.
Yeah, there's no way they expect him to be there that quick. Like, they just got to the bomb. Obviously, they saw someone that was sitting in that top balcony window, but he must have given the information to Awakening saying they must have slid just towards bomb. And as soon as that happens, he doesn't hesitate, able to get the 2, and eventually close out the round for his team. Now, if you're the Mutineers, what are they going to try to do? They're just pushing straight up middle map. They're going to get the first blood. Awakening with the second. Slack with the third. Last guy's going to drop. And the round, it doesn't even know. Doesn't even know that it went that fast, man. Florida, oh my God. That was such a quick one, man. Now they're 1 round away from closing out this map. Oh my.
I love that, man. Look at the round. Call of Duty cannot keep up with how fast-paced and how dominant Florida looked in that last round. Just, I mean, literally, that is flawless gameplay early. Neptune now reaching 11-3, 5-3 advantage now from Florida. The The answer back that we needed to see. Again, the job is not done. We talked about Express. It was madness, yesterday with Guerrillas and the Atlanta FaZe, and who knows, man. It's treated us to some many memorable moments in times previous, but Legion, see what they've got now coming into this next offense for them. As really the player that you have to try to wipe off the board is going to be Neptune. However, Skies does get dealt with early. They know of Neptune's positioning. He's content just to kind of hang out here. Classic throwing a few shoulders. Fire looks for the engagement. As Neptune falls, that now leaves Awakening all by himself. As again, back and forth we go. Paris able to stay alive.
Yeah, and Paris just commit to that B push once again, man. It's worked for them once. Once they get opened up with that first blood, they know that Neptune likes to play this ticket booth. They just single him out. Eventually, they open up with the second blood onto Slack off the flank side. And they just win all their engagements. They just trade properly. They get that round done. That one was easy. Now they're going into a round number 10, which they're going to be on defense. How are they going to decide to play this, though? I would like to see them 2-2 split. Have a couple players go towards A, but be aggressive on it as well. That's exactly what they're going to do. Are the players at B going to have their hands full with every single player on Mutineers on their side of the map?
Great find from Fire. Slacked on the other end. Able to find the trade. It's Slacked with 2. And really, as the site begins to be cleared, you see Classic and Scraps quickly on the rotation as they were the 2 players at A. And Awakening, he may have read this. He may have read this. He has to get in the corner, tosses out the nade, and does get the trade. So it will now leave Classic all by himself, and who other than Neptune to close out the game. Unreal performance out of the rookie as it was Slacked to start things off and the rookie to lock things up. A solid performance from the Mutineers, and again, just fast round after fast round. But it's Neptune overall, man, who really closes out the search and destroy for me. Puts on one heck of a performance, and you saw Paris. They just could not deal with the aggression on the other side.
Yeah, they opened up with the first blood on the side of Paris Legion. It was just, there was too many players there for everybody else to put some shots in. Slack was able to get 2. And you see Scraps he almost made the play there.
Yeah.
If he doesn't die to Awakening from that nade, it turns into a 2v2. So totally different play. But Awakening with the heads up play gets the nade off and turns it into a 1v2. And Neptune having the map that he had, 12, that's Baker's dozen. He's got to be feeling really good after that one, tying up the series 1-1.
Yeah, got to be feeling good. And again, I think if you're Neptune, you've got to be feeling excellent. 12-4 performance. He lights things up, puts up nearly 2,000 damage in that search and destroy. I know there's been a lot of talk on rookies, right, throughout the CDL, guys who've just been, kind of impact players for their team. You talk about guys like Paul X and, players like Inside and whatnot. And I know in terms of stats, Neptune at times has kind of been there. At times is, maybe kind of still improving. But in those search and destroys, he has just been lighting things up as he's also going to be our featured player. When we talk about our U.S. Army tactical play, we've got to revisit what was
be this 1v2.
Major clutch here, Study.
It's got to be the 1v2.
We got to look through it again, my man. What do you got?
Yeah, it's the 1v2, man. It's Neptune versus 2 players. So Skies, he's in a position right here where he's going to just drop eventually to Fire. To Aqua as he jumps up on his top plane. So it turns into Neptune in a 1v2 situation. Fire's going from his side, from the opponent's side of the map. Aqua's jumping up on top of the train. So that's why you see Neptune hesitate on that bomb plant there. But Neptune, with the movement that he has, he's just able to slide all the way around the corner. He gets up top. Obviously, Aqua runs out of bullets, so he has to use his pistol. And he just slides right off the ledge and just destroys Fire, man. Shout out to Neptune, because that was sick, man. That was a sick 1v2 clutch.
That was dirty. That was dirty, Neptune. You see a little bit of a smirk on his face. He's hyped after that performance. Bringing his team back now to a 1-1 score line. We've got Garrison Control up next. Again, a lot of implications on the line. The intensity only continues.
The Call of Duty League is brought to you by GameFuel. Use code CDL2021 for a special discount on GameFuel.com. Tournament audio and team listenings are powered by Astro Gaming, the official headset and mix amp of the Call of Duty League. The Call of Duty League is presented by Zenni, the official eyewear for the CDL. Armor your eyes with Zenni Blocks blue light protection glasses by visiting zenni.com/gaming.
He goes huge. It's madness.
Welcome to the first major of the 2021 season.
A third kill from Dashy. That is obscene. You have to get through skies. There it is, Envoy, with all four. aBeZy, oh my god, it's done. It's over. FaZe, they're flawless.
New York, stay alive and complete the reverse sweep. FaZe looking unbeatable.
And NYSL closed it out with the 3-1 win. They get top four. The LA Thieves have got to go. They've got to go now. OpTic gonna get the 3-1 victory. All of Los Angeles fell here in the major. 40-11, no one on OpTic can get a kill. NYSL, they complete the 3-0.
NYSL stun everyone and eliminate OpTic Chicago.
Atlanta versus Dallas.
Winners bracket final time. aBeZy, you monster.
This is just disgusting from aBeZy.
Our lower bracket elimination matchup, playing for a spot in our tournament finals here in the first major.
Empire, man, they start off the day getting 3-0. They respond immediately with a 3-0 of their own.
The Major 1 final, FaZe, Empire.
Atlanta FaZe is handing out a beatdown to the Dallas Empire.
Simp takes down all three. Oh my god! What is this?
Atlanta absolutely dominates the first stage major.
How in the world is anyone going to beat Atlanta?
How great is that hype video? I mean, tell you what, if you weren't already excited for stage 2, I don't know what to tell you. By the way, Atlanta FaZe heavily talked about coming into that stage 2 major. We talked about their performance yesterday versus LAG in terms of search and destroy. Standy, they're still on FaZe, my man. I mean, look at that. It's just first. You can't get away from them. They're despite the loss yesterday versus the Guerrillas, they are still leading in basically everything. So, I mean, without a doubt,
yeah,
they are going to be a scary team to look out for, and a scary team that maybe one of these teams could face off against in that stage 2 major. You never know what could happen. Still a lot on the line in regards to this Legion Mutineers match. We talked about winners versus that elimination bracket, still in the balance for the moment as we take a look at our quick scope presented by Scump. Let's study. We're through a hard point. We're through the search and destroy based off the record so far that has been accurate, as Legion did win the opening hard point. Mutineers respond here in the search and destroy, and in the control, Mutineers with the overall advantage right now at 7-5. And we were talking about this kind of coming into the videos today. I myself am very hyped to see Garrison control. I think I see it, 9 out of 10 times in league play, but in terms of casting, this is like the first time we've had it,
yeah,
like since
here.
stage 1, like week 2. It's been a while. We get a lot of raids, we get a lot of checkmates. I'm excited for some Garrison, buddy.
Yeah, it's been a minute, man, since we've casted this map, and I'm excited to get into this because both of these teams, they like this map. They like, if you're at Paris Legion, you like the hard point, you're really comfortable on this, even though it's going to be a little bit different with this control game mode. It's just all about the same. Basically, you're controlling the same exact things. That top green control is everything for your defenses. You need to be able to win your defenses and try to steal an offense. So we're going to hop on here with the Mutineers. We're starting on that defensive side. Just keep in mind, guys, that when you're getting these kills on defense, if it does go to a round 5, those kills really do matter. So let's see how the Florida Mutineers are going to start right off the rip. You're going to have 2 players go towards top green, just trying to fight for that nice and early.
You're going for the early fights. Again, been a while. Got to refresh ourselves a little bit for some good old Gary. But like you said, that top green control can mean pretty much everything as Neptune, hot off of that last search and destroy, looks to speed things up so far in the early stages of this control, but yet really no progress much made so far throughout the map. However, that begins to change. A Slack wins a big 1v1 versus Fire, nearly takes it on to Aqua as well. But so far, a solid stint early out of the Mutineers as they are just getting wiped away. No possession over inside of Lights, but it is that A point that Paris currently have their finger on, as they will deal with the one player that is still alive here. That's actually going to be Fire. So a few players beginning to stay alive. Fire, without a doubt, the farthest pushed up player, as it is really Neptune who's trying to deal with these guys off of spawn. 40 seconds left. They're one tick through, nearly halfway done with this A point, but still a lot to prove. This Classic now, the next player up for Legion, making his way through green. With 30 seconds left, you got to get something going here soon if you're the Legion, but that's 2 down.
And just keep in mind, guys, when they were capturing that A point, we're still playing on the old patch, so they do not have the ability to cap it from that top platform. So you're going to see the Florida Mutineers players just fighting for that map control. 2 are going to drop. They're forcing all the players from Paris Legion to try to break out of their spawn, try to get some time to get stopped if they hop on one of these points. Scraps is trying to do everything with the sub. He's going to push up. Neptune's going to be able to get 2. 5 seconds remaining. Scraps knows his life is valuable, but 2 are going to drop. Eventually, he's going to get traded. But Classic is going to be able to get on this A point.
Do what Classic can do. Again, he really needs his teammates to get out of green. That mid-map advantage currently possessed from Florida. Hill is going to be contested. 0.8 on the clock, but just when he needs the cavalry to arrive, they do. One last player is going to be on the point. That is Fire, player 7. Aqua steps in. Great timing. Is he going to read the player coming from that mid-catwalk? He does not, as Neptune continues to clean away the support staff, really. That Fire's going to need up close. Neptune again has a shoulder waiting for his fellow rookie compadre, as it is Florida managing to lock out this first round. It took some time study, and it was kind of those pesky players from Paris over at that other side of the map, but when it comes down to it, they're able to deal with everything.
Yeah, it's literally this best play right here, out of Neptune. He was able to get 1 on that street. It takes the guy out of top green, and it just eliminates a player off spawn. So now the only focus is Fire onto that point. Him and his teammate eventually set up the pinch. They get the kill. They win the defensive round. And look at Neptune, man. He's having such a series. 13-3, currently on a 4 spree. Like, who's stopping this guy right now?
You see Slight, he's just at 2-7, like, hey, man, go for it, right? You just take your time. I'll bait for you. No worries. Neptune, without a doubt, having an unreal performance. I mean, what is 16 engagements, 13-3 in just the first round. Incredible stuff, again, out of the first-year player. So now we come into our next one, Paris Legion. Big spot for them, as Florida, of course, will be on that offense. They really kind of get cleared out from that mid portion of the map. They'll go and siphon on into A, realizing that B currently out of their grasp. Skies wins a big fight over versus Scraps. That B point continues to go as we're over halfway through, and now it's going to be 2 ticks grabbed from Florida.
Yeah, and the Mutineers looking like they're trying to close out this B point nice and early and extend that time by a minute. Skies is going to be on the point. That's going to be 3 down once again. So now it's all about the transition over to A. There's only going to be 1 player here. Neptune's going to win the first engagement. So now they're going to be nice and early onto this point. They just have to hold off the second rotation of kills. They should be able to cap this with ease. But you're going to see Classic win a huge engagement onto Skies. Here comes Scraps for the second. Scraps trying to do everything he can, but he's going to stay alive and just wait for some time. Wait for his teammates to get to him. He's still winning engagements on the way, and the last player on the point is going to be Neptune. He has to try to play his life as long as he can for his teammates to get here, but all the kills are going in favor of the Paris Legion, and they hold.
Yeah, and Legion obviously not in a great position when we talk about lives, so with kind of finally getting the wipe that they need over at A, this could be their opportunity to establish some good mid control, not allow for a top green position to just be kind of a continuous waypoint from the opposite end. His Awakening has had a great map as well. Currently +4, nearly makes it +5 as Scraps able to get out of dodge just in time. Still 1 minute and 30 on the clock if you're the Mutineers, as that life count still remains somewhat intact. Still +6, and here comes that back brick push. Good coordination early here from the Mutineers, clearing out trophies and clearing out the opposition. If you're Aqua, it's a good pick. He's able to stay alive, as well as find the pick. They line up for Aqua. That's going to be 3 in a row. Fire on the other side does lose the fight versus Neptune, so it was a team nade and near scary situation there for Paris, but they're able to hold on.
Yeah, and they do have at least, they're only down by 4 lives now with Fire winning that engagement. A minute's left on this clock. It's all about just trying to slow down these positions from the Mutineers, and you see the positioning out of Scraps, hitting that underground tunnel. Just causing mayhem for the Mutineers players to try to get out of their base. Everyone is dropping. All players are coming off spawn. Awakening is going to be sitting towards bottom floating. Eventually, he's going to drop, and now we have more live advantage for the Paris Legion.
Good sequences coming in late for Legion. His fire on a spree himself. We talked about how he needs to be the player for Paris. Sitting on 13-9. Late game situations is 20 seconds now left on the clock for Florida. Panic begins to set in, but it's Skies who opens things up with 2. He is going to make his way through mid. Unfortunately, he does lose his fast-paced SMG. The entry will get dropped, and so Skies is going to have to do some dirty work up close. He is going to get the call out that one player was over here at Bricks as Florida, they run out of respawns. Actually currently sitting in a 3 versus 3, and really based off the positioning from Florida, they're not able to get to a point in time. So again, we talk about their ability over toward kind of toward the walkway off the rip. They get some good time. It's Paris who lock things up on defense. Again, it came down to a few close situations, but it's fire. Fellow rookie on the other side putting in some good work for Legion.
Yeah, they just held their defensive round. The only thing that's scary about that is the amount of kills that the Florida Mutineers players were able to get on that offensive push. So if it does go to that round number 5, Paris Legion, I'm pretty sure they beat them by at least 2 kills on that previous round. Don't know what Florida won in the first round, but right now I would be putting Florida in that round number 5 on defense. They're going to go into their defense now. Once again, you see them fighting for top green. Paris Legion trying to take their time, trying to open up with some kills. Here comes Neptune flying out, just putting shots into everyone before he eventually gets dropped.
It's just great to see. You know, I know it's obviously not a great sequence when you look back at it, but you can just kind of feel the confidence coming in from Neptune. Little by little, his confidence has started to rise for the Mutineers, and that's really what they want in Florida. A very scary team, especially when these guys are clicking. We talk about the ARs a lot, but a lot of talent when it comes down to Neptune and Slack, the ability that they can have together. Legion, off the start, having some good progress made over at A. Again, it's kind of been their point. Last offensive round, rather, it was fire as a big win comes in from him. This time at the point, it is Aqua locking things down. Now, we talked about Octane being the human turret, but Aqua, without a doubt, deserves to be in that conversation as well. Worthy of a similar nickname as Fire Up Close. He gets put out, and at the same time, it's Classic who now leads the way for the SMGs. He's getting the work done up close, and that is going to be the 8 points secured here for the Legion.
And that's good if you're the Legion, getting that 8 point underneath your belt, and you're also going to have a 3 live advantage. Aqua's still in the positioning that he's in. He's going to try to eliminate these players from bricks, but eventually he's only going to be able to take down one before he's able to get traded. But now this opens up the opportunity for his teammates to get on towards this B point. Classic's going to open up with the big first blood onto Slack. You see the players from the Mutineers, they're starting to panic. They have to try to eliminate these players off. They have 2 players flooding through lights.
Wow.
The perfect crossfires coming out of Scraps, and now all the players coming off. Paris Legion should be able to walk away with this offensive round if they're able to just stack this point. Just not really focus on the kills here, but they're trying to worry about just in case it does go to that round 5 so they can secure that defense as well.
Smart play from Paris, trying to make some progress happen as the guns actually smack up against each other. Overall, it will be Florida that does trade things out. So still, mere seconds away is Paris from locking up this offense. What would be a massive round for them. The nade gets tossed out. It is chaos as Mutineers working with very low life count, but Neptune, he finds 2. It is slacked on the other side, and Florida will remain up for now. Again, life count not great for them, but there is still 1 minute and 20 on the clock. But if you're Paris, you look back at that and say, did we just lose the round based off of that play? Again, it is Neptune making the plays up close. The SMG's going big. And now Slack hanging out inside the middle. Nearly takes down Classic. A great engagement despite going on the mantle there at a Nicky D. As Paris will convene back onto the point. Many players from Florida wiped away as Awakening drops from the nade as well. This is the opportunity for Paris. They're stacking on the point. Can Slack make the play? And it will not be the case as Legion here on the offense will grab what was a very, very contest-heavy point. Again, the best play, well-deserved from Neptune. It's unfortunate for them, they do kind of throw some lives away, but It was a solid hold, to put it lightly, from Florida. There's too much time on the clock there for Paris, buddy.
Yeah, that one got a little scary with Neptune getting that three-piece. It just came down to that second wave of kills. They just weren't able to open up with that first blood. You saw Neptune drop to Aqua in that tools area. Once those trades started coming in, Florida, they just didn't have enough lives to fight the players from the Paris Legion. So now you're going to see Paris Legion able to walk away with both defensive rounds that they have been on so far. I mean, with one offense, one defense. Now they're going to be going on defense, which is going to be favored. So now the Mutineers have to try to do something a little different on this side. They have to try to get this 8-point nice and early, because before, Paris Legion, they just held it. But then once again, they're just trying to extend that clock by getting this 8-point nice and early.
So that's just great plays coming in from Neptune. Not playing super aggressive over in that top green position. This will halt the progress from Paris. And again, the nade comes in from Slacked, and that will be the B point nice and early there out of Florida. As they only dropped 2 players throughout that entire sequence. Now the focus begins on over at A. And we talk a lot about checkmate, you know, how that kind of plays out. A lot of times it can, or rather, excuse me, raid is what I'm referring to, but you can kind of grab that 1 point early over at middle, and really from there, it's just, can the defense fall in 3 or 4 counts? And that's really what Florida's going to be looking for. Now, it's a nice play coming in from Classic, just to try to keep the man count somewhat even. Giving some good communication to his teammates, as unfortunately he drops. Legion not faltering easily throughout the mid-map, as that's going to be 3.
3 go down once again. Now the Mutineers players have to waste more time on trying to fight out of their base. The good thing is that they're only down 1 life. So it's all about just trying to win those gunfights, trying to get out of your spawn, get pushed up for more map control. You're going to see Awakening trying to jump towards top floating, able to eliminate fire out of top green. He's going to know there's going to be a player underneath him as well. It's going to be Classic, but Classic's going to walk away with that one. And the pushes just keep on getting staggered for Mutineers players. One player just continues to drop every single time. It's just slowing up the players on their side. Have to just pull up their guns, hit the pre-aim, and try to open up with the kill. But every single time, Classic is here, currently on a 5 spree, just causing havoc with the map control that they currently have.
A nice shot from Neptune to finally slow down the streak, but I think you called it perfectly right there, man. I mean, Florida, they're having some good moments here and there, but it's really, they're just losing that one player that can kind of define what would be the team push. Is now we give the call out, Mutineers making some good map progress, as now they'll start to enter in toward top green. And really, what can you do? 30 seconds on the clock, and it has to be now. What most likely, what very well could be the final push out of Florida. Legion, the opportunity to go up 2-1 in the series. All comes down to this. Slack decides to join alongside the squad mates, but it's Classic and Aqua who combine for 2. Can Slack get anything done? He gets traded out. Last player alive toward the point is going to be Skies. He has to go big. He has to make the play. He gets shut down, and can Neptune even get to the point in time? He's going to have to try and slide on in, but he has to reference back, and it will be the Legion who walk away with control. Winning this one 3 rounds to 1. It comes down to that offense study where they're able to grab it, and from there they never looked back. Big plays coming in from Paris.
Yeah, Paris so far, like when we were watching them on their offensive pushes, they like to go for that 8-point nice and early. And that's the thing, it's just the Mutineers players, they started off with 2 players going towards top green, but once those players got eliminated, there were Paris Legion players all over that thing, man. They went straight into A, and they just hopped that point nice and early, and it makes it such a difficult task to try to hold that B point with at least 2 minutes on the clock. When you're also down lives, man, Paris, they just capitalize on it. They get the job done. They win their offensive round, secure their defenses, and now they found themselves up 2-1 in the series. Good job.
It's just crazy, man. Like, just the scenarios that we've got going on right now in Group B are crazy. Like, again, if you're Florida,
it's getting more scary.
It is. It's terrifying if you're the Mutineers. If you're a Mutineers fan right now, you're saying, hey, we win this series, cool. We're playing against the Legion. They're currently the lowest right now in Group B. Maybe we can get through this one. And then Paris are just like, no, by the way, we're still a top team, by the way. And again, they're doing it in the respawns, which is a scary sight to see, because when we talked about the Legion, when they were being such a scary threat, it was specifically in those hard points, and it was just in general in the respawns alike. And now when we talk about this next hard point, it's going to be on Garrison, one that Paris likes oh so much. But folks, stay with us. Again, a lot of implications when we talk about Group B. Is this where the series ends? Can Legion lock it up 3-1, or do we have ourselves a Game 5? It is Garrison Hardpoint when we come back.
Season with a statement. That's a 3-0 over the LA Thieves.
Snapbacks, strapbacks, and knits. Get ready to rep your squad with the all-new CDL headwear collection available exclusively at Mitchell and Ness. I'll tell you what, Standy, these hats are just absolutely phenomenal. I need to get my hands on one.
They look so
I don't know
good,
who to
man.
talk to about that, but hey, you're hearing it now. Make sure you can tweet at me. You can get email, everything. It's possible. We can get it done. But hey, man, we got to talk about something super interesting in regards to this series right now. Obviously, it has been heavily back and forth, but the one guy that we have to look at coming into this Game 4 hardpoint is going to be the rookie, right? It's going to be Fire. We touched on his stats to kind of kick off the day, and they haven't been stellar so far in Stage 2. They have not been stellar, really, when we kind of take a look at the entire season as of late, but tell you what, man, I think he very well could be the difference maker, as we highlighted it coming into this Game 4 hardpoint on Garrison for Paris, the opportunity for them to lock up the series.
Yeah, man, in Fire, he's having a great series so far. Ever since him switching back to that flex role, we saw him on that last map, on that control. He had like 28 kills and like 19 deaths. The guy was winning a lot more of his gunfights, and you could tell he's just feeling a lot more confident. And this team so far, we were talking about in the beginning of the day, it's just those respawns. And so far, they have gotten 2 underneath their belt. They have the chance to go for the 3rd in this hardpoint Garrison. It's going to be their best map. The only time that they've lost it throughout the year was versus the Dallas Empire, when Dallas Empire were able to chain 4 different hardpoints together. So as long as they don't allow that to happen, they should be able to walk away with this one and close out this series.
Yeah, I know, again, this is a great map for Paris. Again, on the other side, if you are Florida, I think they are 7-4 now after that loss on Garrison Control. They're 7-4 across Garrison respawns. And I think in hardpoint as well, they've got their hands on quite a few Garrisons themselves, as they set 4. Okay, great. Stats are on the screen. Just let me look at the stats. That's all we got to do. 4-3 on the season. They've got a lot of reps on this map as well, but it cannot be understated. This Garrison hardpoint very well. If Legion do win this, it will put Florida in the losers bracket for that Stage 2 major. Again, they currently sit 2nd right now in the standings at 2-2, but because of how crazy this group is, that's just the way that the chips fall. Florida in major need to send themselves to that Game 5. Again, if Paris do win this, they stay alive, and they're looking at a few different teams to go big, see if they can secure that winner's bracket, as they currently sit 6th right now in the standings in this group. But here we go, off the rip. It is slacked and Classic, the vets for the team, going big to start things off, but it's Paris winning the opening engagements as Florida, they get 6 points despite getting dropped off the HP.
Yes, and how you're going to see all the Florida Mutineers players pushing through dark, trying to get through tools, trying to push towards that plat side. Just get these players from the Paris Legion off of this first hard point. You see Scraps going nice and slowly through that rat hole, able to take down one, but eventually he's going to get traded by Neptune. But here comes Aqua. Another trade coming in. Time is still going in favor of the Mutineers, but if you're Paris Legion, job well done. You still have the spawns 4P2. You can definitely grow this lead by just playing fundamentally correct, as they've been doing so far throughout the hard points.
We talk about it so often, right? In Garrison hardpoint, right? It's those SMGs kind of through the middle side of the map that can just net you so many kind of different portions for map control. We talk about different sequences, leading pushes on the flank as Neptune does find the early one onto Classic, and here comes the onslaught from Florida. They will get traded out as we start to line things up. It will be Aqua here now on the flank. Florida with some close spawns. Aqua in need to win this fight. That's going to be 2 for him, but the third one just coming out of the window. Aqua manages to escape. Now he's on top of the box. We can barely keep up with his perspective, but he's finding kills regardless. The Krig has never looked so good. 4 in a row, 7 in 1. Can he make it 8?
Oh.
Actually does get some team shots. It was Classic who wins the overall engagement. And my goodness, back and forth we go. A crazy hard point, but it will, at the end of the day, be the Mutineers who break inside of the HP. But now looking up toward next, it is Paris with the positioning, but with that 3 down, it is now going to spawn Paris on the other side of the map.
And now Mutineers players, there's only going to be one player they have to focus on. It's going to be Fire. So now they eliminate him. They're going to have fully set up for this P3 hard point, and they should be able to grow this lead by a lot. If they just hold a couple pushes from the Paris Legion players, they were not expecting to flip that quickly. But so far, kills are going in their favor. That's going to be 3 down. The only player in a position to try to get him off this point is going to be Fire. He's going to be able to win that first engagement. He's going to spawn all his players towards that back garage. And now Paris Legion have the spawns.
Paris have the spawns, but it's again, Florida, they're winning the fight. Slack is the farthest pushed up player. Can he win the engagement? Fire does miss the punch, but it's the team shots that will end up walking away with the engagement. As Fire pretty much slides past everybody in that late sequence. 20 big seconds on the clock right now for Paris. Florida still looking for the break as they're getting cut down. This is going to be what? Florida waving the white flag, realizing that that last hard point is going to go the other way, but Slack does find himself in a great angle, so he will at least keep the Legion off the point for the time, and really based off of that push, it's Classic from one side, and it's Aqua from the other, trying to delay what was the early setup from Mutineers at bottom tank.
Classic's going to win another engagement, so that's going to put him at a 5 spree. He's going to work his way back towards this hard point, trying to get some time for his team. They know that the Mutineers players are going to be spawning towards back green. So it's all about holding his top loading, making sure you're winning those engagements, and then eventually chaining a couple of these kills together to spawn them out behind you. Now that's going to be 3 down. Once again, all the players from the Mutineers still spawning out towards top green. But if you're Paris, this is a job well done. They have been holding this from the front side. Classic's currently on a 5 or 6 spree. He's one off streaks. And so far, they're getting a lot of time off of this P4 hardpoint. Unfortunately, he's going to drop there. That's going to slow down his streaks before go down now for Florida. And the time is still going in favor of the Legion.
Yeah, great sequence currently going right now for Paris as they're inching ever closer toward that century mark. Let's go and take a quick listen in with their communication. Let's go to an Astro listen-in with Paris.
Responding back.
Still have Nick.
Want to be green on me?
Yeah, I'll help you out right now, Nick.
Guys on the green crate, absolute guys on the left.
Yo, top green.
Guys, green crate, you drop down. We spawn out, they spawn in the back now, they spawn in the back.
Go.
There's plenty of bricks, there are brick spawns right now.
Yeah, one's back out, I'll get him. Yo, one's ramping me. Alright, one's 2 in bricks. I got him. I got him. Top green.
I have your top green, I have your top green.
Everyone relax.
I'm jumping.
Top green window, jumping out on you.
Dead. One is the bricks and one's on the middle tank. Bricks and middle tank.
Down hill, awakening up to you on hill, bro.
Back right now.
How many times?
He's in there.
I'm dead, Nick.
What's the no? I need
They're spawning you. They're spawning you.
No, I'm blocking it.
Nick. I kill, bro.
What's the no?
They're spawning the back. They're spawning you guys.
Little box there.
Gonna go on the left. Gonna go out.
Yep. I'm gonna come green with you. The arch.
I have L. Get green. All of you guys go green. I have L.
Okay, I need top plat. I'll see him on the radar.
5 for green.
I'm gonna slide out left. Yeah, right.
Yep, go for it.
He's in the corner.
Dead. Another one's on one shot. He's so weak up there.
Top green dead.
Nice.
Nice. 2 dead.
Nade on the hill, been naded.
Alright, copy that.
He's catch stairs.
Yo, need catch stairs. Okay. Needed it.
Absolute top green. Trying to find life.
Rock them
One
in
is come out of you.
One is the vent. Vent dead.
He wants dash. He wants dash.
Legion, they're still holding on to this minor lead. Study, what'd you make of the comms there from the Paris boys?
I just love the comms from the Paris Legion because it doesn't sound like, you know, when it was getting a little flustered, you heard Scrap say, all right, let's calm down. But there's just multiple different leaders on this roster. You heard Aqua say, I have control of L, everybody hit green. Scrap saying, slow it down, be relaxed. And it's just, it's feeling it. You can just tell Paris Legion are in this mode. They are locked in, ready to go. And the comms are definitely there to support it.
All right, so Legion, they do cut down what was a split spawn from Florida. They were looking to be in a good spot. It was a 2v2 fight toward the back bricks. Legion, they're able to deal with that control. So now they've got the money hill in their hands. We'll see what they can do with it as the early attack being made right now out of Florida. Neptune, the fast SMG, who's been dominating so far throughout the series, once again called upon to try and lead the troops. The young rookie tries to find the early engagement, but it's the vet and Classic who wins those two. But Slacked, he's found himself behind enemy lines. That's also is going to set up Skies, a major 1v1, but it's Classic who wins the fight. Granted, Florida is going to be spawning here. As much time as Paris can hold, the better. And that's a nice sequence coming in from the players in the top green. Awakening, Heat Guns, Fire also takes down Aqua as well. So if you're Florida, you are going to net these last 17 seconds. But with that push and with that spawn flip, it is now going to set up Paris for next. Valuable 60 up next. Can Legion continue to distance themselves ever more? Or will it be Florida again on the break?
Yeah, Paris Legion, they just have to do a better job this time around of just staying alive, making sure they're winning their engagements. And that's exactly what's going to happen. No spawns are going to flip out. And that's all about just holding the line. You're going to see Fire open up with the first blood. Eventually, he's going to get traded. So 2 players from the Mutineers trying to work around that backside. You can see Aqua and Fire off spawn, just focusing that. You have Classic and Scraps holding on to this hard point. Going to be 40 seconds remaining on towards this P3 hard point. 2 kills once again going in the favor of Paris Legion. There goes the third. And that's going to be another push shut down from the Mutineers players. And Paris Legion, with the way that they're holding right now, they're going to be able to grow this lead by an extra 25 points. Only needing 60 from closing out this map number 4.
Yeah, they're going to be at a good 190 if they can hold up the remaining seconds. Yeah. And that is a scary sign if you are the Mutineers. A lot on the line for these boys is, again, kind of toward the later stretch of this rotation. They are going to set up for next. And this is where they have to hold. This is where they can't afford to let the game get out of their hands any further. Aqua looks to try to lead the Slaying Frenzy out of the vents. Awakening could make the play on the flank, but he gets cut down by Fire. A major win out of the rookie. A huge win out of Fire. Sitting at 21-14. He's going to be called upon once again. Does get the trade, but you see how that sets up Aqua. And really, if you're the Legion, it's just about trying to hold off Florida from getting these points, as now they'll start to siphon in from top green and start to siphon in from the backside as it's Aqua who's going to go on the streak. Classic now up close. Does get traded out, but you like the passive play that Legion are showing at times. It's passive, but it's also aggression when they need it. As here comes the push out of Florida. That's 2 who end up falling. It is Classic again, now sitting at 30 kills. 30 seconds left for Legion.
Man, Nikki D is going absolutely bananas on this map, number 4. They find themselves only 24 points away from closing this out and closing out the series. Everybody on the side of Paris Legion is just playing so well. If you're the Mutineers, you need to play basically perfect hardpoint from this point on and try to hold down this P5 hardpoint to the best of your ability. The Fire's going to open up with the kill. Here comes Slack trying to eliminate both players. He's going to read the second. No, he's going to get traded by Scraps. But Classic, once again, there for the trade. That's all about just trying to keep these players from the Mutineers off, and that's exactly what Classic's going to do. He's going to try to win that engagement. He's going to drop the Skies, but a whole lot of kills just going on all over the map. 4 eventually going to drop now for the Legion. And if you're Mutineers, like I said, perfect hard point from here on out. Getting that 4 dead, getting this remaining 20 seconds, you're going to need to chain this P1 hard point to stay in this game.
Yeah, it's still doable. And again, we talk about kind of these next few hills. Florida do sit in a good position, but again, like we talked about, it is so hard, right, to try to hold on to spawns. It's so hard to kind of play Call of Duty when you've got, a number of different opponents, not just Legion, but also the time, also the score. Sitting on the opposite end is the contest. Starting off early from Florida Classic, he makes the read, finds the right timing, and it's Nicky D who decides to take matters into his own hands, sitting at 35 and 20, clears out the first defensive line out of the Mutineers as Legion are within 9 seconds. Slacked. He's going to win a big 2. Fire on the other side, continuing to wipe away the defensive forces from Florida. But here comes Aqua from the top rope. He drops 2 as well. Time continuing to go in the Legion's favor. As now it's Classic's turn once more. Neptune, he gets traded out. And 3 more seconds. Mutineers are going to get here. Can Skies get to the point in time? And it will be the Legion closing out this series 3-1 in what is one of the craziest series that we've seen so far throughout this group, just in terms of the way that things sit right now in that winners to losers side. What a play late out of Paris there, Study.
Wow, Paris Legion, they just look like a completely different team, man, winning 3 different respawns in this series right here. You gotta just give it to Fire, man. That switch to the flex roll, you could just tell on that control he was playing really well. On that hard point, his confidence is there. Just overall, just great plays out of the Paris Legion from top to bottom, man. Everyone was going off, doing what they had to do. Job well done.
Job well done, out of the Legion. And again, like you talked about, it was through those respawns. We talked about it kind of to start off this series. The team has just not been clicking in the respawns. They've just not been on point the way that they were in stage 1. We call upon them saying, hey, what can you do now in the respawns versus the Mutineers, a team who's been looking great so far throughout this Group B. And like you called it, buddy, they win every single respawn, just dropping the Search and Destroy, which traditionally was good for them, but this is a different looking Paris roster right now. And as you called it, right, just a number of different guys stepping up, 29 and 20 from Fire, but I'm staring at that 36 and 22 out of Classic. So many major plays, and that wasn't just, you know, random kills off of spawn. No, these were major kills, leading at times kind of being that entry slayer in regards for the subs at different moments. Just great plays coming in from Nicky D, as we know the talent that guy has, right? We know at times how he has the ability to take over games, and that's just another one of the highlights, right, going in the reel there for Classic.
Yeah, man, it all came down to that engagement when he was at P2. He was the only player on the backside. It was one of his teammates who spawned all the way out towards P3, but he was able to get all 4 kills and keep the spawns for his team. And then eventually he just kept picking up 2-piece after 2-piece, sliding in, getting trades. He was just doing all the dirty work with the sub. And he finishes with a stat line like that. You don't really expect out of a player like Classic, but he gets the job done. Hats off to him. He played phenomenal.
He did. He played absolutely excellent to close out that hard point. And also, he's going to be deserving of our Scuff play of the game as well. Again, we talked about this hard point. We talked about how the SMGs at times on Garrison can totally change the entire tide of the map. It's a big situation right now. Right, the game's kind of somewhat of a level heading. In Classic, he goes on the spree.
Yeah, and this is the first rotation of hardpoints where Paris, they just literally dominated that P4 from the front side. Usually see the team who has control of green spawning them all the way out towards back 3, usually are taking advantage of that hard point. But Paris, they did it on back-to-back rotations, and then Classic just making the play after play. You see right here how the hill was contested. You see how his teammates are shooting over him, but he just perfectly times that. He's able to get the guy out to congestion, able to get the guy out of lights, and he was just making those plays all game for his team. And that's what made it so easy. Such an easy job for Aqua and Fire as those assault rifles to slay the way that they did, because Classic, the pressure that he was putting on Florida, they just couldn't keep up.
Yeah, they couldn't keep up, and that was kind of the pace that we were talking about, the aggression out of the Legion. It was a sight to behold, something that the Mutineers clearly couldn't hold on themselves. But let's go and take a look at our Astro Social soundboard. Obviously, I'm sure that social media reacting to what was a very crazy series. This one, of course, coming through from Paris Legion themselves, and they say, you don't play us on Garrison. And I cannot agree more, man. We talked about it when it came down to the vetoes. We talked about it, in the keys to victory. We said, hey, you know what? You don't play this team on Garrison. You try to get that out of the rotation. They do not. And it comes back to bite the Mutineers. But here is how things are looking right now.
Wow.
In the standings, we've got every single team except for one currently with 2 wins. Mutineers with this loss are going to be, without a doubt, now in the losers bracket or in the elimination bracket coming into that stage 2 major. Big focus right now for Paris is that they are looking at Seattle to win versus the Minnesota Røkkr and for Dallas to beat the Chicago OpTic. So if those two teams do end up winning, that will put Paris in that 3rd seed as they will be able to grab that winner's bracket side. So again, if you're Paris, fate is in a few other teams' hands, but man, look at this. Just look at this group. The way that things have lined out, it is chaos right now.
It's insane, man. Just the matchup that we have today between the Surge and the Røkkr, like that's gonna be nuts.
Yeah.
Like just to see where the standings go. But then you also have Empire yet to play OpTic. Oh Oof. Man, this is not solidified yet, guys. There's a lot of things that can still happen.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like it's literally madness. I think it was Nameless who's in our group chat. He was like, I didn't think I was gonna have to do math today because like of all the crazy scenarios that we got going on right now, just the different head to head, the way that things are currently lining out, it's madness. But props obviously again to the Paris Legion for at least holding on for now, as their fate currently exists, like we said, in the Surge and the Empire's hands. Well, folks, we know you like it, right? We know you love it when we talk about those in-game rewards. This year, when you watch Call of Duty League matches, you can earn in-game rewards like double XP all stage long. The longer you watch, the more you can earn. Make sure to link your Activision and YouTube accounts today. Folks, just do it. Like, I'm telling you, you watch the games and you can get double XP tokens. You're winning. You're just winning. And I tell you what, man, just
need them.
You do. You need it. You need it. When we talk about double XP, I'm constantly putting on my tokens myself. But hey, buddy, we got to wrap up this series quick. I mean, tell me, man, your thoughts after seeing what the Paris Legion were able to do in Florida. Now that's back-to-back losses for them.
Well, Paris Legion just looked like a completely different team today than they did all throughout stage 2. They win 3 respawns to get the job done. And if you're Florida, you went from 2nd all the way to 6. So far, the last 2 matches you've had, you went 1 and 6 in your map counts. It's not the way you want to go going into that major. You definitely need to improve going there.
Yeah, a lot of improvements still to be made, and it's still, like we said, those tense moments are only still to come in preparation for that stage 2 major. Well, folks, the Legion, they managed to get the job done, and now we've got Aqua up next here with Lottie. Gonna have a great conversation there with aLLeY. He's feeling good. He's feeling hype after that W. Like we said, it's Lottie standing by with Aqua right after the break.
The Call of Duty League is presented by Scuff, the official controller of the Call of Duty League. The US Army wants your warrior. Hello everybody and welcome to your Game Fuel Victory Spotlight. I have the lovely Aqua from Paris Legion. Aqua, I gotta ask you, man, you've done and dusted the first round here of this wonderful LAG Home Series for you guys, but you do have a major to look forward to, and you did finish stage 2 with 2 wins, 3 losses. How are you guys gonna prepare coming into this next major?
Definitely take our practice more serious than ever before, and obviously making sure Fire just does back on the AR game and just making sure he's on point.
I like that. I like that. It's clear cut. You know exactly what you guys are focusing on. You're playing your game. And as you wait, obviously, to see the brackets fill up and you're waiting in the wings there, what is going to be your main focus, though, gameplay-wise, when you're preparing for the major?
Definitely to prepare for the major is more for me to just study more on teams. I've been lacking on that, so I just got to be on top of that and just make sure I read the plays on search too. Definitely work on your search game.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you about the search game. Is that something that you guys are going to be really practicing quite hard on? Are you going to come up with some new strats for us?
Definitely, for sure. Some new rap plays on the search is going to come down.
I like it. I got my eye on you guys. Okay, I'm gonna be paying attention to that. See how your S&D game forms. I appreciate you so much.
Check the corners.
Take care. Congratulations. Check the corners. Don't forget, folks. Check the corners. Yeah. Appreciate you, man, and congratulations.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, there you go. You've heard from Mack himself after finishing that wonderful game of their series here, and they're going to be looking forward to the next major. But we have another banger coming your way. Røkkr versus Surge, both 2-2. Someone is going to get the leg up here, but who will it be? We'll find out after the break. The Call of Duty League is brought to you by GameFuel. Use code CDL 2021 for a special discount on GameFuel.com. Tournament audio and team listenings are powered by Astro Gaming, the official headset and mix amp of the Call of Duty League. The Call of Duty League is presented by Zenny, the official eyewear for the CDL. Armour your eyes with Zenny Blocks blue light protection glasses by visiting zenny.com/gaming.
What a glorious day it is for games, Joe. The madness continues. We've got some wild scenarios coming up. Some teams sitting, watching, waiting, depending on the outcome of this match. I can't wait to get started, pal.
Yeah, I mean, Group B is just absolutely nuts, and it's a big game for both Minnesota and Seattle. They both have to bring it. It's, you know, you want to start in that winner's bracket. There's all these different scenarios. I know our competition ops team's going crazy, but we're going to see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. That's exactly right. No, I was talking to Alex, who works in our league ops side, and he basically said this is the craziest groups in any title he's ever worked on, which he's been working at league ops for like 7 years. So that's pretty crazy to hear. But let's meet our squads. We're going to start things off with Minnesota Røkkr.
Røkkr certainly come to play.
They can't stop it. They can't stop the kids. They can't stop it.
Oh, Priestahh, disgusting. Accuracy's there, nice kill. Bang! 200 IQ, 10 out of 10 play. Oh, Oh my word. But Dashy's going to save the day. Røkkr, our kings of the north.
The new look squad, Joe, they've been frying. Standy is in. They're finding success. Obviously, still some work to do in the hard points, but they're finding W's. They beat OpTic, they beat Empire, they're rolling.
Yeah, I mean, that's really it. A 2-0 against two of the best teams in the league right now. And, you know, these guys, they started 0-2. They made that roster change. They're trying to get in a winner's bracket, you know, going into stage 2. And it was difficult for them. You got to think the first week as a squad, and you got to play those two teams. They're able to go 2-0. But all 4 players with big moments last week.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Another team kind of on the surge, on the rise, as they've been making plays and starting to find their footing despite not making the roster change. It is the surge. Let's check out the roster.
Lord, son! Finds himself another one!
Prestinni looking dangerous.
He's just ripping the entirety of the Guerrillas. Wow!
Aggressive is always Diamondcon. Head ripped off.
Looking to find a few more, but Gunless
Absolutely rips his way through the 3 of them.
249, Seattle won! So, Joe, they don't make a change. They stick it out. And, you know, they've been finding some improvements. Prestinni seems to be a new player between stage 1 and stage 2, and it's been awesome to see them find a groove.
Yeah, I think at the end of stage 1, Seattle Surge, they started to make improvements, and I think you saw signs of it. And you know, all 4 of these guys, they're veterans. They know what it takes to win. They've all been previous champions, so they stick it out. They saw their potential the last couple of weeks throughout stage 2. We've seen them starting to get a groove a little bit more. I think the Krig meta has helped them out. But yeah, I think the big thing for me is absolutely Prestinni.
Yeah, this is, it's going to be fun to watch, but I want to look at this real quick. It's Group B standings. It gets really insane, especially with the Paris win. And I think I confused some people with my tweet just about the implications for OpTic, because a Minnesota win here guarantees OpTic are in a winner's bracket spot, so they're in the top 3. But some fans might be rooting for a Surge win, because then it comes down to that Empire match. But what's so crazy about it for OpTic there is what you win, you get first, you lose, you get 6th, or something insane like that. Like, the swing is nuts. So I guess it depends on what you're looking for. But yeah, every match, every map, so crucial right now, Joe.
Yeah, they are. And then we're going to take a look at our maps and modes and really how this one played out. You and I were kind of talking about it. There's some weird ones. I think for Seattle, you see Control Raid 0-4 on that one, but we did see them go to around 5. It feels like one that they're comfortable with, but that's Minnesota's. They're 5-2. That's their best control map. They beat Dallas. They beat OpTic on it. So kind of scratching your head there. You look at Hardpoint Garrison, the first time Seattle's playing that Hardpoint in map 4. Minnesota is 0-3 on their record, but it's a new roster. They haven't played that map with Standy yet.
So that's what I got to think, right? I mean, you're only going there because you feel a little bit more confident with the new guy in the squad, right?
100%. Yeah, I think, yeah, they're trying to find a